All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chib from Green and Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you about transfer rumors and rumors surrounding the Arsenal generally. Now, apologies, you can probably see my eyes are doing something funky. One looks a lot bigger than the other. I don't know what's going on with this. I woke up with it. There's some funkiness is going on in my eye. So just ignore this. ignore what's going on here because I am very conscious of it. But apologies. I'm gonna shower and hope it takes the edge off it a little bit and buy some drops for it tomorrow. But yeah, ignore this. I'm aware of it. I know. Let's move on. Right, let's talk about Arsenal. Now, initially, I wasn't going to do this story because the story has come up a lot over the past since 2017. Really, it's constantly come up. But I thought I'd go with it now, perhaps as the lead story, because I see a lot of people talking about it, and that is, and I'm about to butcher up my own people's name, Aliko Dangote or Dangote. Simply put, he is the richest man in Africa with an estimated worth of over £8.5 billion. He is the Nigerian that everybody has been asking me about, like I know every Nigerian in this world. Everybody's been asking me about, when he's going to come back. I haven't heard from him in a while. We need the Cronkies out. We need someone who's prepared to put down the money, and this seems to be the man that's ready to take on the Cronkies. Now, I say that loosely because we've obviously heard this before from not only him, but also from a Musanov, and we saw that Musanov gave up in the end and has gone to do some stuff with Everton now. But there's a feeling he came out with another statement. He seems to come out with these statements every 18 months or so and just declares that he's going to buy Arsenal, or it's his intention to buy Arsenal. Or the one that he mentioned in 2017 was when he takes over at Arsenal, the one situation he will change immediately is the coach. Now, one thing I will say is we Nigerians are stubborn. We're stubborn. We are stubborn. So for what you guys who are not Nigerian might look at this situation thinking, all right, yeah, this is chit chat. Trust me, 9 times out of 10, if a Nigerian wants something by hook or by crook, we will get it. He's a big Arsenal fan. We know this. I know to a lot of people that doesn't matter. It's not a particularly big issue whether it's an Arsenal fan. I kind of agree with it, but actually, part of me likes the fact that he cares for the club. And I'll tell you why. Because it's nice having someone who, we talk a lot about having a footballing man or a man that cares for the club or a man that has the club's interest at heart. It'd be nice having someone that cares about the club and having the interest at heart. I said this in a group chat earlier when somebody asked me about my opinion on this generally. I figured, all right, I'll share it with you guys. What is my opinion on this? Me personally, I'm at the point with the Cronkies where I just want anyone to take over. Would my ideal situation be a Nigerian guy? No. For several different reasons. I think once it starts to go wrong, you're going to start seeing the racists come out. You're going to start seeing the abusers come out. You're going to start seeing people come out quickly. And as I told you earlier, Nigerians are stubborn. So they're not going to make a decision because you lot think you should make a decision. That ain't the way we operate. That ain't the way we operate. So if you're looking for a passive owner that's more receptive to the fans, I don't necessarily think you'll get that with him. What I do think you'll get with him is that we are naturally ambitious people. We're naturally very proud people. And I think what he will try and do is he'll go in there and look to make an immediate impact. So we're not necessarily one per se for long-term visions. You know, we don't buy into the Ivan Gazidis type of path. That's not what we do as Nigerians. What we do is we're more about, all right, how do we get X to Y in the quickest, most efficient way possible? That is just the way we are. We're all about practicality rather than in 10 years' time, we're going to be competing on the likes of Bayern Munich. We're not that guy. We're the guy of, all right, this is where we are. How do we get them to the very top? We're also not the type of people who will see top four as the pinnacle of where we should be. We want to be the best. He will want to drag Arsenal to be the very best because, quite frankly, he'll want to be seen as the man, the African man, the African success that was able to transform a sleeping giant like Arsenal into the very best club in the world. He'll want to do that. He'll be very driven to do that, especially being, and this is where I think being an Arsenal fan matters, because he's an Arsenal fan, because he's been chasing this project for so long, he'll want to tick those things off the box. So that's why I do think it matters. But then there's a very obvious question. All right, who gives a damn if he wants to buy it? Usually it takes two in a transaction. And just because he wants to buy it doesn't mean that Stan Kroenke will sell it. And absolutely, you know, it's worth keeping in mind that you're talking about a man who has made decent profits off us over the last few seasons. I do believe that those profits will start to dwindle, you know, because it doesn't look like we're on course to make the Europa League, never mind the Champions League. And those sort of things will start to take a toll on his profits. So he will be under pressure to spend. But because the recruiting policy has not been the greatest, so they're not spending in the best place possible. You know, they're getting advised to turn down 8.5 million for a 32-year-old Mkhitaryan, like they're going to get more than that. So, you know, you can see that there's not a lot of structure there, even though they like to pretend there's structure there. So, is it unrealistic that Stan will want to sell next year? Probably. Is it unrealistic that Stan will want to sell in 3 years' time? I don't buy that. Because if things keep going the way they're going, I could see him saying, you know what? Pundits. This thing, I bought it mainly to sustain and be a profit holder for the rest of my teams in America. If it's not even giving me that, and you're getting an offer for $1 billion, $1.5 billion for a club, you'd be stupid to not take it. And that is where we are gradually entering. These are the sort of stakes that we are now starting to gradually enter. Because I can see what he's doing. I can see him making declarations, and I can see what that's about. It's almost to let Stan know, I'm not the missing off. I'm still here. And when I'm ready, and when I've completed some of these projects in Africa, which hopefully will give him the sort of money and returns he's looking for, so that he can then return and make an offer, I can see the play. It's not a particularly risky play for him. What does he have to lose? He's speaking to us in order for us to put pressure on the current owners. But at the same time, he's putting pressure on his end, saying, listen, I've got a way out for you. You spend X amount of money on this club, I will double it. All you need to do is bounce. So I like what he's doing. We as Nigerians, we're not very subtle about this type of stuff. The subtle way might have been to try and get a couple of shares here and there, buy your way onto the board, but then Musonov tried that crap and it didn't work. So sometimes, bun subtle, you got to go in there with a sledgehammer. So I like what he's doing. For me, I don't mind the noise. I know lots of people are quite annoyed by how kind of, aggressive and how noisy the whole situation seems to be. I'm not that guy. For me, I get it. I understand it. Do I see it working? Probably not. At least not in the immediate effect. I don't see Stan selling anytime within the next 12 months. But then the other thing that we need to also bear in mind, people, These rich guys know about stuff before we know about it. I think it's an interesting timing that all of a sudden he says a year earlier than he intends to buy it, I'm going to buy Arsenal Football Club. What's he heard? Has an investment gone wrong for Stan? Does he think that Stan might cash in on one of his assets? Why has he said that? Now, you might say, oh, yeah, but, he always says that. He always says that. But he doesn't necessarily put dates on it. So why has he said that this time? That, to me, is more the thing I was curious about. Like, why 2020? Why? What have you heard? So let's see what happens. I still don't think it will happen next year. But in 3 years' time, I don't think it's impossible. Particularly if Arsenal are no further forward, you would hope that our fans would have lost their shit by then and have put some suitable pressure on the owners. And if that's the case, Stan might just say, you know what, we tried, done this, we've got an offer that doubles our money, let's just take it while we can. And then let's just go with anyone who can bring the best out of these lot. Like I say, for me, if it was my ideal choice, I wouldn't necessarily want to go with an African owner, just because I believe that there will be some time whereby they will make decisions that will be odd, and then you're going to see the racists come out, and that's, for me, where I'm uncomfortable. Also, I don't see him, if he came on board, I don't see him being a very long-term owner, in my opinion. I see it being a 10-year project, maximum, before wanting to sell on. Obviously, the ideal situation would be a couple of absolutely filthy rich Arab princes come on board and buy out Arsenal. That's the ideal situation. But we also, beggars can't be choosers. So if this guy is the guy willing to spend the money, then let's do it. Let's get him on board. So that's my feeling. You guys let me know what you think. Please do leave it in the comments below. Right. And Majid, just to repeat, he is worth up to 8.5 billion and apparently rising. So just to keep that in mind. Okay, let's go with the story that I actually to do with a player this time. This player has been linked with. Sorry, let me get it on my phone. This player has been linked with Chelsea in recent times, and he is a defensive midfielder. So I was excited as soon as I heard the word defensive midfielder. So Arsenal are being linked with Chelsea target Bruno Guimaraes. He's a 22-year-old. He plays for Atletico Paranaense. The president of that club came out, Mario Celestino, confirmed that Arsenal are interested in signing him. They've received one offer so far, which I guess everybody assumed was Chelsea, and it wasn't. It was Benfica. Benfica looking to buy him now. Arsenal has shown interest, but as I read on in this quote, whilst the club are looking to sell this January, Arsenal are trying to negotiate a deal to see if they can buy him at the end of the season. In terms of the player himself, I know that a lot of Chelsea fans were quite excited by him, so I wanted to take a closer look at him. He's 22 years old. Defensive midfield is probably a bit generous. There's no other way of putting it. He's a Granit Xhaka replacement. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a tackler per se, decent tackler. He's more of a Joel Moutinho for Wolves, if you ever see Joel Moutinho play. Someone that likes to just stand on the base and just hit beautiful balls over the top. Through balls. Passing is his thing. Like, he's an excellent passer. Very Jorginho-like in the way he goes about his business. But got more pace and got more mobility than Jorginho. But you can see why Chelsea are after him. Definitely an upgrade on Jorginho. Good little player. Good technical player. But when I heard DM, this wasn't necessarily what I was hoping for. I was hoping for, a big hench geezer that was just going to break-up player in the midfield, and that's not necessarily what we're getting here. This guy is more of a number 8, so he sits deep, plays balls over the top, plays through balls. To me, this is an interesting choice because if you are, let's say, Granit Xhaka has been convinced to stay to the end of the season, which I believe is the case, and that he's not looking to leave necessarily in January anymore, and it will be the end of the year. I suppose I always assumed that Guendouzi was the guy to fill in next to him, to take up his mantle. But that doesn't look like it's the case. So that in itself is quite interesting. I also think that's the correct decision because I like Guendouzi, but what he's shown since Arteta's taken over is that actually he's not quite ready yet. I actually thought he was one of Emre's shining lights. Actually, I thought Guendouzi had a really good, solid start to the season, but since Emre's left, he's been trash. It has to be said. So, to me, I think this is a sensible decision in some ways, but I feel like, yeah, but if our money is limited, shouldn't we be looking for actual defensive people? You know, like a defender, like a defensive midfielder, like a proper defensive midfielder. That's my main beef with this particular story. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments and let me know. I'm going to come to the chat room in a minute, guys, so bear with me. But please do stick a like on this video as we go on. And yeah, I'll come to you guys in the chat room very shortly, yeah? Bear with me. I'm going to talk about one more story, and that is Mr. Boateng. So I think there's a common belief that if Arsenal buy ringing a defender, it will be Boateng. Supposedly, us and AC Milan are in the big battle for him at the moment. Me personally, I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I loved Julian Boateng 5 years ago, but over the last 5 years, we've seen a decline of a player who's suffered with a lot of injuries, a lot of bad form, and I think, you know, a lot of stories at the moment today are going about the fact that Mustafi is edging closer to Galatasaray. It's like, well, you're getting rid of one geezer who struggled, I guess, who absolutely struggled in the Premier League, and then you're bringing in someone else who's going to do the exact same. It doesn't make any sense. The only thing I can think of is that you're bringing in experience. This is what people always argue with me when they talk about David Luiz to me. Oh, he's experienced, though. He's experienced. He's also a liability. And this is the problem. For me, I'm not happy, but it is what it is. We need a defender. I'd rather us not get anyone than get Julian Boateng. You want me to be completely honest? I think it's a waste of money. I'd rather prioritize it in the summer where we could actually get someone decent. In terms of Upamecano, because I know a few people have tweeted at me about Upamecano, that deal seems to be more or less dead. RB Leipzig are very, very against, as they should be, and as I called at the very start of the season. I said at the very start of the season, because I saw loads of people saying, oh, well, don't worry, Chi, come 1st of September, come 1st of January, we're going to go and get Upamecano. And in my mind, I'm like, what? Where do you, for many reasons, how do you figure that one out? A, what makes you think Arsenal will be prepared to spend that sort of money on Upamecano after they bought David Luiz? Secondly, even if RB Leipzig are to sell, which I'm not convinced they are, I think Man City will go and get him, right? Slightly wrong about that. It looks like Barcelona have decided they want to slide in there and try and get Upamecano. So yeah, and if you're Upamecano himself, why would he go in the Champions League to us? Doesn't make no sense. So I think people need to let go of this dream of Upamecano. I think we need to go and identify another defender quickly, move for them quickly, secure them quickly. Because I think this Upamecano thing is done. If it was me personally, I'd go and get Canute. You guys know this already, or Canute, or however you want to say it, who is Upamecano's defensive partner. He's 19, possibly 20 years old. In my view, better, much slicker on the ball, taller, he's 6'3". And to me, he's the actual superstar out of the two of them. You know, when the way people were talking about Michael Keane, when Michael Keane first went to Everton, they were sucking off Michael Keane, right? And I said, people don't realize that me was the star out of the two of them. But then for some reason, Michael Keane got all the headlines. As soon as Michael Keane split from Ben Mee, Michael Keane was never the same player again. So trust me, when I say Chib knows defenders, go get Canute. Forget Upamecano. Before people realize that Canute is the guy. And then we're up against it. That's the guy to me to play alongside Saliba. But that's just my opinion. All right. I'm going to go into the chat room, guys. Please do stick a like on this video. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm going to chill with you guys for the next 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to bounce up out of here. Remember, I'm doing a show with Ola tomorrow. It won't be on Guna Eagle Eye. It will be on the Filthy Hardcore, be the Filthy Casual and Hardcore show. The link is in the description right now for that channel. Because when I do a show, I don't want to hear people talking about, oh, when are you going to cover 246, or when are you going to cover the Conor McGregor return? And I'll tell you, I've done it. The link is in the description right now. Just click on that link. It will take you to a channel with no videos. Straight up, no videos. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, and tomorrow you'll be alerted as soon as me and Ola go live. All right? I'm going to go and see a movie tomorrow. So by the time me and Ola get on, it might be a bit late. It might be about 9:30. But I will be doing it, I promise. All right? So do hit that subscribe button. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying for the next 8 minutes. Canute is the better defender. I know, Ben. I've been saying that. I've been saying that. Hi, Martin. Hope you're well. Chig. Party on oh, well, that's if we got money, then of course, yeah. But it again with Indeed, the Indeedy one. If you're Indeedy, why would you leave Leicester to go join Arsenal? That made no sense. Big up to Mr. Hernandez. I hope you're well. There's only one man should take over. Donald Trump will put a wall in our defense. Let me tell you, Trump will spend more money. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Mr. Gomez in the house. Aliko Dangote, chick. Know him very well. Lived in the same block as Flats in the early 80s in St. John's Wood. Extremely nice man. Oh, for real? Damn, how random was that? Oh, fair play, Mr. Gomez. I feel like calling you Mr. Gomez because I feel like you're older than me. But thank you, bro. Okay, that's an interesting bit of trivia. Chig is Nigeria's. Is Nigeria the richest African country? We up there. I don't know if we actually it, but we're up there. I think it's either us, South Africa, or I can't think who else. Maybe Morocco, somewhere like that. But we up there. We top three. I'll tell you that now. Unfortunately, we got a lot corrupt motherfuckers too. But thank you for the donation, fellas. I appreciate it. Chig, no hate, but what happened to your eye? I already said this, but I'll say it again. I woke up with an eye infection. There's no other way of putting it. It is what it is. I got a clue what's happened to my eye. Very simply put. So, just trying to hide it in the shadows. Yeah, it's not too bad. It was a lot more bloodshot than that in the morning. But it's swollen, so I'm trying not to itch it too tough. So, yeah. Apologies. I'm about to jump in the shower and clean it up a little bit. Atletico interested in Laka or Atletico Madrid interested in Laka. Well, that was the club you wanted to go to in the first place before we put our noses in. His form has been so terrible recently. Maybe they should have him. I don't mind it as long as we make the deal somehow work for us. So if it means party in exchange with some money, all for it. You know, just make the deal sensible for us. But yeah, well, why not? Koulibaly and Upamecano in paying the money. No chance. Those two deals by itself would probably be close to 80, 90 million. No chance. Canute and Saliba, 2 passes in defense. But Tyrone, they'd love it. They'd love it. That's the ideal situation. I thought Oleg Lushny did a decent job for us. I did. He was very dependable, not the quickest, but definitely not the slowest either. Had a decent whip on him. No more has been at Arsenal. No more has been at Arsenal. We need younger players. Big up to Joanne. And yes, I don't disagree with you, Gal. For me, I don't even mind the older player. Just be a good. I don't want to just buy Jerome Boateng based on what he did 5 years ago. It's like, no, what are you doing for us like now, mate? You know? We've turned into a retirement home over the past 5 years. I'm going to say South Africa's richer than us. They might be. That's why I said South Africa, that we're up there. I don't know if we're the richest, but we're up there. We had a lot more ore than we do these days. Can I sing like Kelechi? You'll never know. You will never know. Got to say, Laka's been shocking this season. She'd been practicing MMA. I promise you, this is not through sparring. I did not get into a fight. This is a legit eye infection. Not a great one either. I don't know. Ask him. I don't know. Would I take Lamar plus 20 million? No, I wouldn't. I used to really want Lamar, but the fact that he's not even managed a single assist worries me a little bit. So no, I wouldn't. Now, if you said to me, party plus 20 million, I'll take it. Big up to you, Tom. Embarrassing how Martinelli's been our best player. Do you know what I mean? The fact that we are so reliant on an 18-year-old worries the absolute shit out of me. I figured they'd settle on him. Why do you always choose the worst pictures of me, don't you? Choose a better one. We need to put out some money and buy Nathan Ake. I'd love Nathan Ake. I don't think we've got any chance of buying him. First of all, Chelsea have first refusal on him. And second of all, I just see it being too much money. Sangara, for me, I think he's a little bit more what we want. Samore is very slick, but Sangara, for me, is more combative. So that for me is what I'd have. But who would you have? Would you guys have Lewis Dunk, just out of interest? Interest means nothing, just interested. Chelsea in this typical positive mood. I just started that series the other day. I hope it's good. What's he talking about? Momo Cisco. I saw you say that comment earlier. Our opinions, I guess. I got into a fight. No, I didn't. It's just eye infection. That's all it is. That's all it is. So I'm trying to cover it in the shadows. 5 worst players in past. Oh gosh, Ben. I'll do that another time, mate. No, not. It's just too late on a school night for me to think about that one. There you go. Like my man says, visit the Filthy Casual. Filthy Casual, the hardcore show. Me and Ola will be talking MMA. 246. Cover the Fury Wilder presser that happened tonight. Link is in the description below. Because I know people are going to still ask me, even though I've said it 18,000 times. Try some eye wash, mate. Yeah, I know. I'm going to get some tomorrow. I'll sort this out tomorrow. Listen, I'm not Floyd Mayweather or anything. I'm not necessarily saying I'm elusive. But all I can say is if this happened to my eye, what the heck would you think would have happened to him? That's all I'm going to say. Sugar, all I had to scrap the MMA preview. That's how. Yes, Ola did this to me. You know what? I should have said this was a fight. It would have been a lot of a harder thing to say and said, I got into a fight, mate. This is a battle wound. It would have been a lot better than I woke up with an eye infection. Mavro Jenkinson. Nah, not even close, mate. Santos. Forget about Santos. Let me think about that one. I'll get back to you. How Mustafi's not part of that list, I'll never know. Evening, guys, evening. Just some serious overtime. Couple more minutes and I'm out of it, yeah? Lack of doing some different scoring according to the paper. Listen, for me, I don't care a damn if he's getting pussy. Just stop misfiring in front of goal. I don't care what he's doing in his personal life. It's when he lets his personal life affect his professional life is where I have a problem. Yeah, I did. Thank you, Boots. I appreciate it, my man. Celebrations carry on next weekend. Can't wait for that one. So yeah, it's on pause right now. Oh, listen, I love Lee. Lee ain't doing this to me. Come on now. Come on now. Whereas Ole, I can tell, will be a little bit more of a scrappy fighter. Do you know what I mean? Just firing on all ends. Firing off at the wrong end. Let me put it down there. Thoughts on Boateng has been over the hill, wouldn't touch him. Laka and Pepe are penalty merchants with no movement. I feel like Chelsea decides to say stuff just to annoy me. How you can look at Pepe and tell me he has no movement tells me you're either just trying to be a troll or you're just trying to deliberately piss me off, which I know amounts to the same thing, but I'm going to separate it just for the sake of this. I have met Lee in person a couple of times, yes. I love Lee. Even Lee would say, you think I'll be able to do that? Even Lee would say that shit. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show at least. I'm gonna get up out of here. Um, Hold on 1 second. Ola seems like the type of guy that you put in a headlock, just start pounding away at your head. My man looks like he could be a dirty 100%. Ola would be a scrapper. You have to leave. There's a reason this motherfucker secretly likes watching MMA and shit like that. Do you not think for 1 second Ola would just be a pussy? But for the fact he's also Nigerian, so he'll be stubborn as hell. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Please do subscribe, hit that like button. I don't know if I'll be back on Green the Eagle Eye tomorrow, but I'll be doing a show with Ola on the Filthy Casual and Hardcore show. Again, link is in the description. I'm off to see 1917, which is a movie. So I'll be doing a review for Chit Flicks. Chit Flicks is also another channel of mine that will also be in the description below right now. So I will do a review for that probably late tomorrow night. And then on Friday, just skipping ahead to Friday, if you know anything about me, Bad Boys over 20 years ago was my favorite film. I know it was a flawed film. It wasn't technically an amazing film. I know that lots of people have their favorite films and they'll say Godfather and Scarface and technical masterpieces of films. But for me, that was my favorite film because I saw two guys who looked like me, who looked like they were having fun, they were blowing shit up, and I loved everything about the movie. And this Friday, I get to see the third installment of that film series. So, bit of a moment for me. So I'm definitely going to do a review for that one, and I'll do a review for that one on Friday. I'll do a special review for that one. So, yeah, that's pretty much what my schedule's looking like. Haven't forgotten the chopping block. Haven't forgotten the Chin Knows Best. I'm trying to find places to slot it in where it's relevant to you guys. So look out for that over the next couple of days. I promise I'll get that done. They've recorded. It's good to go. I just want it done now. All right. I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.